Hey, how you doing, huh? You know, one of the most laughable things to BC in the entire pro wrestling industry, community at large, is the contradicting and just downright false reporting on a day-to-day basis. Like, for instance, coming out of the Royal Rumble, Matt Riddle was supposed to win the Rumble. 3 hours later, update. Riddle was not supposed to win the Rumble, just a strong showing. Later that night, it was Randy Orton that was supposed to win. Next morning, no, it was not Orton. All along, for weeks now, Brock Lesnar has been penciled in to win the Rumble. Ignore all the reporting that we gave you yesterday. Shane McMahon was producing the match and booked himself to look strong, pissing everybody off. Update, the next morning, Shane was not a producer of the match. The list has been unveiled. Shane was not one of the 4 producers, that's actually a fact. And he only eliminated, I believe, Kevin Owens. Maybe one other person, but I believe it was only Owens. It's a real strong booking by Shane. Shane really booked himself strong. Oh, the reporting, man. The contradicting. You can never take any of this with a grain of salt, man. But now there's this report that Shane has been let go by VKM, his own father. Uh-oh, here goes the storylines now, right? He had a personal vendetta against Triple H, supposedly. Now he's got the personal vendetta against his own son. He'll let him go. His own flesh and blood. There goes the money! Like Shane McMahon gives a flying fuck. I fucking love this dude. Shane McMahon is the shit. Shane McMahon actually has a sack. Shane McMahon will step up to his father. Shane McMahon isn't afraid to walk out on his father's company. Shane McMahon isn't afraid to get fired for standing up for what he believes. Shane McMahon knew from the jump that Royal Rumble sucked. That Royal Rumble was horseshit. He saw the list and he said, I'm one of only 2 surprises? It's only me and Bad Bunny? Shane McMahon knew that the old man has flipped his rocker. Shane McMahon was the only one with a set to stand up to Vince. Yeah, the latest report says this. I'm gonna read this exactly. This is why I love Shane McMahon, bro. The only one to stand up to his fucking father. The only one to stand up to the old bastard. Shane says, this is what's said about Shane, the latest report of why he was let go from WWE, which, by the way, let's not act like he was an actual employee. I don't know what his talent contract situation was. Maybe this whole time he was under a talent contract. But I'm sure he's not going to lose sleep. I'm sure he's going to be very proudful of what he just did again to his father. But this is what the report says, and I quote, Vince had no choice but to let Shane go. Shane created chaos, had everyone in an uproar, pissed off everyone. This is verbatim. This is the report, guys. This is a quote. Vince had no choice. Shane created chaos, had everyone in an uproar, pissed off everyone, openly buried producers, and was changing things that Vince wanted. Yes! Did you hear that, Triple H? If you ever locate your balls, that is how you do it. Don't be afraid to leave the fucking company based on what you believe in, your own morals, your own beliefs. If you think something is wrong, don't be afraid to stand up. If you have to walk out, it's most likely for good reason. If somebody fired you for standing up for yourself and supposedly what you created, stand up and you let the chips fall where they will. Or you can continue to kiss ass just so you can get a piece of the company, a piece of the pie when it's all said and done. You can tuck your tail between your legs. You can keep your balls in Stephanie McMahon's purse. And you let the real men like Shane McMahon step the fuck up. When everybody said that's his son, He's gonna be fine. Well, if this ends up being true, again, take it with a grain of salt, but if it ends up being true, this latest report, he was let go. His own son. Not even Shane is safe, but Shane is an actual man. Shane McMahon saw the Royal Rumble card. He saw the fucking list, and he's like, me and Bad Bunny is it? We're the surprises? Shane McMahon probably wanted to add some life into the match. BC was doing his notes diligently, dissecting this match, the entire pay-per-view for you guys for the review the next day. And I was asleep by entrant 4, it seemed. I was writing fucking gibberish. It took until the entrant 28 for me to come to life in this in that fucking review, doing my notes. And that fucking show on that pay-per-view, it took number 28, which happened to be Shane McMahon. When I heard his theme music, BC came to life. And you can say, oh, fucking part-timers. I'm sick of Shane McMahon and everybody else. He was the only part of the fucking match on the Royal Rumble Saturday night. Shane McMahon was the only motherfucker that captivated BC. It wasn't Rico shit. It wasn't Madcap Moss. It wasn't Happy Corbin. It wasn't Sheamus. It wasn't Omos. It wasn't John Knoxville. It wasn't Sam Zayn. It was fucking Shane McMahon. Because I knew when he comes out, anything's imaginable, man. Even if he does the same shit coast to coast or going through a fucking table again, you know Shane McMahon is going to bring authenticity, believability, realism. Shane McMahon at 50-something years old, boss's kid, made his own success when he first left WWE because he had an argument with his father and he said, I'm out. I don't need this shit. And he went off and he was successful. He started his own business. He sold it. He's a millionaire on his own terms. He doesn't need to be doing this shit, but he comes back to fucking dive off these cages. Go coast to coast. Bring that realism for us. And then there's a portion of the community that cry because Shane McMahon's on TV. He came back after months off. Nobody was created when Shane was gone. You want the fucking truth? You came to a channel where you can't bullshit, BC. You can blame Shane McMahon for holding people back, but he's been gone for the better part of 6+ months. Nobody has still been created in this company. Everybody is 50-50 booked. Nobody was created. Shane comes back for a Rumble appearance, one of only 2 surprises if you even count Bad Bunny. And all of a sudden the community's crying again. They got their fucking G-strings in a bunch. Oh no, not Shane, man. He's gonna have a WrestleMania match. Yeah, it's probably gonna be one of the only fucking exciting parts of the pay-per-view, knowing Vince. And it's only because Shane will go off the script and actually do something Vince didn't allow him to do, but he's gonna do it anyway. Because that's what Shane does. Vince didn't want him and Kurt Angle to have that type of match that they had many years ago. Going through that glass 3-4 fucking times. When Shane McMahon is being dropped on his fucking head time after time, and he kept telling Kurt Angle, do it again, until the glass shatters. And Kurt Angle's like, dude, you're gonna get killed. Keep doing it. That's the passion, the amplification, the believability, the realism, the badassery in this dude. And these people fucking disrespect him. They act like he's the reason the Royal Rumble match was shit. He's the reason that wrestlers aren't becoming superstars. And then they say, well, he's part of the reason. He's not even close, bro. Not even close. It's the old bastard. You see, Shane McMahon's the only one that had the balls to stand up to that son of a bitch. Shane McMahon knows him better than anybody, and he knew he would fire him. He knew he would have to walk away because Vince would not let his ego aside, not even for his own son. His own son, Vince McMahon doesn't give a fuck. And that's why for months, I was the only one in the community that didn't play the violin for Triple H. I didn't act like Triple H was a victim while NXT got gutted. Because just like Jim Cornette said last week, who knows Vince McMahon very well, he said, if you think this is a personal vendetta against Triple H, you don't know McMahon. He said, every morning McMahon wakes up, it's all business. He hired Nick Khan to gut NXT, make it more sellable. He wants the new breed to come in and really buy into the new NXT. You can't do that with the old guard. It's business 101. He'll fucking let his own son go. We saw that years ago when Shane had to leave because Vince would not give in to what Shane was just asking. Shane knew shit could be better. Vince didn't want to fucking do it. I love this, man. I love this, and I really hope this report is actually true. And I quote again, Vince had no choice. Shane created chaos. I love it. I love it. If this old bastard is not going to listen, create chaos. You're probably going to piss people off. You're going to piss the producers. You're going to piss some of the boys off in the match. The locker room, maybe. But if things continue to go the way they've been going, then WWE is going to keep sinking lower and lower and lower. And the whole wrestling industry suffers when that happens. Somebody has to create uproar for people to notice that this is bad. The Royal Rumble match sucked. If Shane McMahon wasn't even in the match, it would just suck worse. Vince had no choice. Shane created chaos, had everyone in an uproar, pissed off everyone. I love this dude, bro. Openly buried producers because he knew the fucking match sucked. And was changing things that Vince wanted. This is a quote in this report. He was changing things that Vince wanted to do. Fuck yeah, bro! Fuck yeah, bro! This is the shit that BC loves to hear. Somebody stood up to Vinnie-Mac. They got fired. His own son. Just like his own son had to walk away years ago. So Shane's gonna be fine should this come out to be accurate. But Shane knew. He knows this old bastard. That's his dad, man. He knows. There'll be severe consequences, but Shane knew something's not right. This match blows. And Vince just wouldn't let that match breathe. Wouldn't let shit develop that would be fun for the crowd. When Royal Rumble goes off the air, we could be talking about how exciting it was, how good it was, what it leads to. Brock comes back and eliminates it. I mean, we need believability and realism. We need the storylines that Shane McMahon can fucking produce. We need the Brock Lesnar's and the Ronda Rouseys. I'm okay with it. They bring a big fight feel, a sense of realism. We should never be having Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar in 2022 winning the Royal Rumble. That's unacceptable. Brock did not need that Rumble victory. Brock got done dirty by Paul Heyman with the turn earlier in the night. 1 hour later, he's smiling and pointing at a burning WrestleMania sign. That's bullshit. That's bad storytelling. When you have a turn like that, you wait, you let it breathe. You let your audience know that when we next see Brock, Brock's gonna be pissed. Brock's gonna be coming for Roman in that title. So you wait until the blue brand comes up on Friday night, and that's where Brock Lesnar, and I told you guys in yesterday's video, I've been saying it, you should start SmackDown with Brock in the parking lot waiting for Paul Heyman and Roman to come to the arena, just like they did with Undertaker and H years ago and with many other storylines. But no! An hour after a badass turn by Paul Heyman, rejoining his tribal chief, and an hour later, Brock is smiling, pointing up at the sign, and all is good. He's thrusted into a fucking WWE title match as well, just because fuckery. Why make things make sense? You already chose Roman on Monday. You're gonna go for Roman's title, and then Adam Pearce is like, hey, why don't you go for the other title again? We're gonna give you 2 title opportunities. Brock didn't need a Royal Rumble victory, just like Ronda Rousey did not need a Royal Rumble victory to set up whatever title she's going for. Shit, you just saw it with Lita. Lita was in the Rumble, she fucking lost. She doesn't get her title shot at WrestleMania. No, instead, Lita gets expedited. She gets a reward. Lita lost in the Rumble, and not only is she gonna get the first title shot, she's getting it in just 3 weeks. Everybody in that Rumble match is probably like, oh shit, all we had to do was ask? We didn't even have to win this match. And I'm okay with Lita and Becky, by the way. I'll be looking forward to that. It's a dream match for many people. Big time superstar from back in the day versus big time Bex today. For other people, it's a sleeper match, but I understand if some people look at that as a dream match, man. But it just shows you the fucking bullshittery, how nothing makes sense, right? I mean, the Rumble is there to set up that, and all of a sudden Lita just comes out and asks for it. And it's like when Rhea Ripley showed up and told Asuka, I want a title match. And Asuka's like, okay. We're like, wait, that's all you had to do was just ask? Everybody else would just do that. And then Bobby Lashley, it's not to create a number one contender for him for WrestleMania. He's actually got to be in the Elimination Chamber defending his title against the same fucking guy he just beat Saturday night. My point is, none of this makes fucking sense, and this is Vince McMahon booking 101. This report is saying that Shane McMahon stood up to Vince McMahon, changed things that Vince wanted to do, created an uproar and chaos. These are the words used. He created chaos. People were pissed off. That's what you have to do to make change. If everybody else just goes status quo. You heard what AJ Styles and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they all just re-signed contracts, and they all were like, I don't know, man, people think that we're all just pissed off backstage. We're not. We're happy where we're going in booking-wise. We're happy in our spots. Meanwhile, we're like, you deserve so much more, motherfuckers! But they're happy, right? Because that's what Vince wants. He wants to strip down your confidence, your self-esteem. He wants to make sure that you know that everything you do is going to be the WWE way with his thumbs on you, his blueprint. Or organic, natural, fresh feeling, original. Bro, those aren't words that Vince wants you to have. No. Everybody is a carbon copy. Basically like the Amazon distribution center. Everybody is being pumped out like the same fucking shaped box. The same shaped brown box. Everybody's just getting catapulted off the assembly line. That's what the Performance Center has become. Shane McMahon stepped up to the bastard. I fucking love it. I love this dude from the beginning. I knew he was the shit. When I saw that match with Kurt Angle, I said, this dude's willing to do more than the actual wrestlers that aren't even Vince's kid. And then we heard the story that Vince was so pissed off at that Kurt Angle match. How dare you? I told you not to do this. I sent the referee to tell you not to do it, and you kept doing it. Shane McMahon's got a fucking set, bro. He walked away from this company with that first argument with Vince, and Vince wouldn't budge, and Shane McMahon held his ground. He felt that he was being done dirty and that things could be better, and he walked away. Started his own business, became successful, sold it, millionaire, came back, not because he needed to. And I'm glad he did that first time around. I'm glad he came up Saturday night, because until that number 28 entrant, I was being put to sleep. Shane McMahon was a breath of fresh air. And when he's not here, the product is still, if not even worse, than it was when he was. You know that's fucking true, but this is what we do. Shane comes back and we all cry. Oh, he's back. He's going to take a spot. He's going to take a spot. I don't like him either. I don't like Shane. And then he does what we all fucking ask somebody. Whether it's a relative, Stephanie, a son-in-law like Triple H, a talent, a producer, a family friend, a shareholder, stockholder, boardroom member. Somebody please stand up to Vince, USA Network, Fox, Peacock. Somebody stand up to Vince. Nobody will. Nobody. From talent to associates, employees, to relatives, family member, nobody will stand up to Vince. Certainly not Stephanie. Certainly not his doofus son-in-law, as CM Punk Phil Brooks once famously said. I'd like to think the company would be better off when Vince McMahon is boop, but I know it'll just be taken over by his doofus son-in-law. I love it. Because they never saw eye to eye. Phil Brooks, Paul Levesque, they never liked one another. Jeff Hardy, Paul Levesque never liked one another. He never liked those type of dudes. They never saw eye to eye. It's like they saw through the bullshit or something in Paul Levesque. Much like BC does. You know, this is what Triple H should have done a long time ago, man. But of course, it's what I told you, man. It's what NXT producers that were in the meeting. I went over this 2 weeks ago with you guys. When everybody was playing a violin and acting like Triple H is a victim, right? Oh no, Vince is taking away NXT. He's destroying Triple H. And what I tell you guys, people in the original meetings when the NXT 2.0 transfer was going on, Paul Levesque was right there with Vince McMahon, and Vince said, this is something that me and Paul have been talking about for months now, this transition to the new NXT. And he said that person, man, Gunther, not Gunther, not the wrestler, Cornell Gunter. He's an NXT producer who spilled the beans on these meetings. And he said nothing looked like they were doing Paul dirty or anything like that. He said everybody seemed to be lock and step. Everybody was in and all on board for this transition and how things were going to be. And then Paul went away for this heart procedure while all the dirty work was being done by Vince and Nick Khan. And now that most of the dirty work is done, now we're hearing that Triple H is coming back before Mania, back to the NXT brand for the recruitment, just like he already has been back for the NIL recruitment program. Next in line. It's already back to work. This is what I mean. While everybody was claiming he was the victim, BC knew what was going on. Finally, we got evidence saying that Triple H, it was always an inside job. Triple H was in on these plans from the beginning. Triple H was always there. His job, NXT's job, was always to just gobble up the indie talent. Make sure that something like AEW never comes into fruition, never gets to be big. Triple H ended up failing, though, because Tony Khan's AEW not only became big, but it ended up beating the shit out of NXT to the point where Vince McMahon was like, dude, start beating them, or because I'm feeling pressure from USA as well. I mean, I can get the same rating and have a much more colorful, sellable show. And that's what he's doing today. He's still hovering the 600,000 threshold for viewership. It's just a more colorful program, so now he can sell NXT with the WWE package, if such comes to fruition and he needs to sell. Rock, Nick Khan, and Disney, for instance. So he told Triple H, dude, you got to start winning or dude, there's got to be an overhaul. I mean, we're losing profit. Do you realize that Triple H never spent a dime on NXT? He basically, he took it over from Dusty Rhodes, first of all. Dusty, that was his NXT. Triple H just saw how good it was going, saw how much respect Dusty had, and he's like, I want to be that guy. So he fucking got that shit. Vince McMahon said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to hoard all the indie talent. Remember, that's when they got all the fucking talents, man, from the indies, man. From the Shinsuke's to the fucking Sami Zayn's. A little bit of homegrown talent with the Charlotte Flairs and the Sasha Bankses. And NXT was great for all of us, man. It was fun. But it was always there to make sure that they held down all the other independents trying to be something. Tony Khan just fell through the cracks. Triple H may have took his eye off the ball, or he just got his ass whooped. One way or the other, Triple H dropped the ball, and Vince took his ball back. Vince McMahon was losing profit every year, guys, on NXT. Triple H never turned a profit for Vince, and it was always his dime. Triple H never spent a dime on it, was losing Vince's money every year, and Vince eventually was going to rehaul that bitch. It's sad, it sucks. Triple H was on board. Otherwise, you would hope that he stood the fuck up. Whether he has to walk out or he gets fired, you stand up. He's already a multi-millionaire with a lot more shares that he could get another fucking $10+ million. He's set for life. He doesn't need his father-in-law's company. You're either an ass kisser in life or you're an ass kicker in life. Shane McMahon is an ass kicker. Shane McMahon has a set. Shane McMahon didn't put that set into his wife's purse. Paul Levesque, on the other hand, I wish he would stand up to Vince more often. We would benefit with a better WWE. But no. How about we continue to play the violin, act like Triple H is the victim, and we'll tear down Shane McMahon. The one fucking guy that stood up to Vince. The one report that we have heard of in the last 10 years of somebody standing up to Vince. We just got it within the last 24 hours. His name is Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon! And there's a portion of the community that won't give a fuck because it doesn't fit a narrative. Let's just keep tearing down Shane. Let's act like Shane McMahon's the problem. When he's gone, the product still fucking sucks, if not worse. Shane McMahon brings a little bit of a fucking lifeline to the show, to be honest. Shane McMahon's theme music alone would be the best part of a 3-hour Raw. But let's have fake outrage. Shane McMahon shows up in the fucking Rumble, eliminates a one motherfucker, maybe two. I think it was one. Owens. That was it. We heard maybe he's going to have a Mania match. Maybe he puts over Austin Theory. That would have been a good storyline. Vince McMahon is treating Theory like he's his actual son. Shane McMahon needs something from Vince. Vince won't do it. Turns into a big feud. Austin gets a big W over Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. That's huge. Austin Theory doesn't need to be in a title picture yet. Let the kid have a big storyline. A big storyline with another McMahon solidifying Theory on the biggest stage with a win over said Shane McMahon. That's a beautiful first storyline. Shane McMahon can then either go off into the sunset for another couple years or maybe have another match at SummerSlam. Are you really gonna fucking... WWE has 1,001 problems. 1,000,001! What the fuck is BC talking about? 1,000,001 problems. Shane McMahon is not one of them, I assure you. I love what I just fucking heard, man. I hope word for word this report's correct, but in this community, you never fucking know. Everything seems to be false as fuck. But like when they said Shane McMahon was a producer and booking himself to look strong. We find out he was not a producer and he did not look strong at all in the fucking Rumble. A KO elimination? It's not like it's the most unbelievable fucking shit. Look what they did to KO this past fucking Monday. Shane McMahon was not a part of Monday Night Raw. KO lost the Theory and he's not even in the Elimination Chamber. Just another fucking loss. You think Shane McMahon buried Kevin Owens Saturday night? Stop. I'm so glad Shane McMahon stepped up to that old bastard. What has happened to WWE, and why is it so fucking bad today? Why has it been bad for the last 5 to 10 years? It is not Johnny Laurinaitis. He's not the sole fucking top dog. It is not Kevin Dunn, not Brucey Pritchard, not even Nicholas Khan. Vince McMahon is the be-all, end-all. We just heard. We heard he changed the fucking match itself 37 fucking times before that men's Royal Rumble match. The entire Royal Rumble he changed a dozen times. No wonder Shane McMahon flipped out. Shane McMahon probably looked at the list, saw what Vince wanted, and said, this is a train wreck. At the end of the day, Vince is going to get his way. Shane McMahon probably had to adhere, but afterwards, he didn't go out on a fucking no easy note. He made sure that Vince McMahon knew exactly how he felt. And he may have pissed off a lot of people in the process. Tough shit. Tough shit. Somebody has to stand up to that dude. We have to get change. The company sucks. Shane McMahon, you can look at him as a beacon of fucking hope backstage. The only guy who came across in the last 10 years that had balls to stand up to Vince, and now he's gone. He got fired for it. Quietly let go is what we're hearing. There you go. There you go. The one guy that stood up to him, now he's gone. And these fucking schmucks in the community will go, yeah, he's gone. He can't take a spot now. He can't take a spot. Now we can get Omos and Rico shit maybe. They'll bring Rico shit from the Blue brand. Omos Rico shit because Shane McMahon shouldn't be in there. Not Austin Theory, Shane McMahon. Fuck that match. These fucking people, man. You leave decisions to a lot of the people in this community? Oh, bro, somehow, the company would be even worse off. All these people that shit on Shane McMahon, and then we come to find out he was the only motherfucker to stand up to Vince. Pissed a lot of people off, caused an uproar, chaos. These are the words that are used. I love it. I love it. That's my boy. When I read that, I'm like, that's my boy. You go backstage and you cause that uproar. Because this company fucking sucks. That Royal Rumble match sucked. Brock Lesnar winning sucked. And we heard that was penciled in for weeks. It was not Matt Riddle. The latest report says Brock was penciled for weeks. And we all knew that. That's the only way that they're going to go to get him to Roman Reigns because they're not creative enough to think of a real storyline. So we knew Brock was going to show up and fucking do what he did. Shane McMahon's not happy with that. Shane McMahon wants to fucking put some life into the match and we're going to dog him out This dude gets fired for standing up to that fucking old bastard in Stamford? You ain't gonna respect that? Check that. I don't give a shit. BC is gonna respect that motherfucker. BC has always respect Shane McMahon. That's a real motherfucker. And real? You're gonna learn this in life. The older you get, if you're younger. If you're old enough, you already know what BC's about to say. Real recognizes real. Bullshit will always seek out fellow bullshitters. Always remember that in this community, man. BC was the only one from day one to give Shane McMahon that respect. BC knew what Shane McMahon brought to the table way before that Kurt Angle match, long ago, by the way, when he showed just how much of a man he is, when he didn't have to do any of that. And now in his 50s, he's still fighting with Vince to make shit better? Bro, BC has the ultimate respect for Shane McMahon. I hope to see this dude in the future, but you know what? Maybe not in a WWE ring. Tony Khan's got a packed roster, but I'd fucking love to see Shane McMahon have a match in AEW. Relax. No, BC. I want Shane in AEW. Too fucking bad. BC, one fucking match? A fuck you to Vince? I'd fucking love that. Never gonna happen, but I'd fucking love it. I fucking love Mox versus Shane McMahon in AEW, no holds bar. Falls count anywhere. Shane would light it up, just like Mox, just to stick it to the old bastard. I have been waiting for years and years for somebody to stand up to Vince. I didn't care if it was an employee, a talent, a shareholder, network executive, a family member, a relative, anything. Somebody. Nobody would. We're hearing that Shane McMahon completely flipped and just fucking had enough. Pissed a lot of people off. But he stood up to Vince McMahon. The exact fucking words we got. The exact fucking words we got. Come on, give it to me, baby. There it is. Openly buried producers. You're gonna put out shit, you're gonna get my fucking honest thoughts. That's what Shane said. It said he was changing things that Vince wanted. Vince McMahon puts out one bullshit segment after another. Vince McMahon approves scooter races. Vince McMahon has Doudrop dancing her way to the ring. Vince McMahon has people like Morrison doing yoga backstage, and Miz dressed up as an Easter bunny, and water gun fights, and Ninja Tozawa being chased by Christmas tree R-Truth while they chase Dana Brooke and Tamina Snuka eating popcorn. This is the stuff that Vince does. We're going to have a quiz-off next week where we're going to have trivia with Randy Orton, one of the best wrestlers in the world still to this day, I feel. We're going to do trivia. Last week, we were doing a spelling bee. This is WWE in 2022, folks. But it's Shane's fault for causing an uproar and chaos. You think anything Shane McMahon could have done in that men's Royal Rumble match could have made it any fucking worse than it was? That match was a debacle. That match was beyond boring. That match made me nauseous. That match was horseshit. That match will never be even viewed, even thought about in my dome piece, let alone watch it ever again. Shane McMahon, I said this before, I'll say it for the 26th time, or let's make it the 28th time, like his entrance. He came in as entrant 28, and it was that only moment in the whole match, 1 fucking hour, that I gave a fuck about the match. Shane McMahon is that motherfucker. Shan-O-Mac! Fuck the community, bro! BC! Got mad love for you, bro! Mad respect! Keep rocking! Keep beating to your own drum! Keep fucking embracing the haters! Bro, you stood up to that bastard again! Got given your walking papers, but I'm sure you walked out proud as fuck. And I couldn't be more proud of that dude. Shane McMahon, I love that dude, man. You're fine! Well, fuck you then, bitch! Hello, is this Tony? BC, and I'm out.